Poland's place in the European Union is being discussed in Brussels on Monday. The country has passed a number of laws which have upset the EU. Of particular concern is a rule that allows increased police surveillance. It's the latest change in the Conservative government's wave of sweeping new regulations since taking office.
The rule of law, as defined in the rule of law framework, requires the respect for democracy and for fundamental rights, and that there can be no democracy and respect for fundamental rights without respect for the rule of law, and vice versa.
Potrzebujemy cały czas. Był rzeczywiście w tej chwili dialogiem.
They should get to know the facts, which will enable them to conclude that nothing wrong is happening in Poland and that the democracy works.
Well, Jack Parrock is going to be following those talks from Brussels and joins me now. Jack, what will President Duda be discussing with his EU counterparts then? It could be interesting.
It could indeed. He'll be talking to the President of the European Commission and also the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, about the laws that have been passed in the Polish Parliament since the election of the new right-wing government. Essentially a crackdown on the media, which allows government ministers to appoint senior figures in Poland's public broadcaster and media services, and also about the possibility for the Parliament to decide the 5 most senior judges in the judiciary. The European Union is not happy about this, and there's many here in Brussels that believe it is contravening EU laws in the rule of law section, which is why Franz Timmermans, the European Commission First Vice President, will also be involved in these talks. And President Andrzej Duda will be presumably trying to tell the European Union that these laws that they've brought in do permit democracy in Poland and that they should be allowed to stand. He himself signed these laws off.
You mentioned a few moments ago the European Council President Donald Tusk, who's also a former Prime Minister of Poland. What stance is he taking with Duda?
So the European Council President Donald Tusk and Andrzej Duda, the President, have had a very ropey relationship in the past, it has to be said. But Donald Tusk now, as his position as European Council President, kind of when they sign themselves in for that, they have to kind of relinquish their national political obligations and beliefs to a certain extent. Clearly, Donald Tusk is going to be very concerned about what's happening in Poland and is going to take Andrzej Duda, presumably in private, on these matters. We're expecting a frosty press conference between these two men, and there's a lot of intrigue as to what they're both going to say.
OK, Jack, thank you very much. Jack Parrock in Brussels there.